3 words. How are you? I've heard them more times than I could count, said at the door usually, before the coat is even off. And I've noticed something about them. Nobody's really asking. That's not a criticism. The words arrive before the person has quite arrived. Automatic, warm enough, performing the shape of interest without quite being interest. And the answer comes back the same way. Fine, good, busy, you know how it is. The other person nods because they do know, or they're willing to agree that they do, and that's it. Done. 2 people have just agreed, without discussing it, to not quite be present with each other, before anything has properly started. A small contract signed at the door. We are here, we are friendly, and we will now proceed at a safe distance. And then they proceed. One person speaks, the other waits. Not listens, waits. For the gap. The pause long enough to climb into with what they were already composing before the other one finished. It looks like a conversation. It has all the right shapes. But something's missing. Almost nobody in this room is quite talking to each other. They're talking to a version of each other. The version assembled from history, from the last conversation and the one before, and the impression that accumulated over years until it hardened into something fixed, a known quantity, a person already decided upon. So they walk in already knowing, already carrying a prepared idea of who this is, which means they're not listening for what the other person is saying today. They're listening for confirmation of what they already think that person would say, and the other one is doing exactly the same thing back. 2 people talking to their idea of each other, both performing, neither quite landing. I've seen it between friends who've known each other for decades, people who love each other genuinely without question, still managing this gap, still talking past each other in the small ways that don't look like anything from the outside. It's not failure, it's just the human default. The mode people settle into when nobody's asking them to do otherwise. But every room has someone who does otherwise. Not always the same person. It shifts, but there's almost always one. Not louder than the rest, not more impressive, just more there. More actually in the room. And something unusual happens around that person. Other people say truer things, go further into what they actually meant rather than what they came prepared to say. The conversation moves differently, slower, more room in it. They're not doing anything visible, they've just arrived, fully, set themselves down somewhere and stayed there. When someone is genuinely listening, something happens to the person being heard. They feel the ground become solid under them. They stop scanning for the gap in the other person's attention. They stop managing how they're coming across. And when that happens, when someone feels genuinely received, they open. Not dramatically, not all at once, just slightly. The way a hand unclenches when it's finally warm enough. What comes out in that open state is almost always more true than what came in through the door. The thing under the prepared thing. The actual thing. One person decides to be real, to set the performance down even briefly, and in doing so makes it safe enough for the other one to follow. Not because they said anything, just because the room changed when they arrived in it properly. 2 people who came in to manage each other and left, having briefly, genuinely met. I think about the coat a great deal. It's occupational, perhaps. People hang what they're wearing and walk through into the room. But there's another layer they never quite remove. The account of themselves they've decided to present. Polished. The version they judged the room required. That one stays on. And it weighs more than anything I've ever been asked to hold. But sometimes, in a room where someone is actually present, I've watched people set it down themselves. Not on me, just quietly, without noticing they'd done it. Because someone was there, and it turned out they didn't need it. You've been carrying that a long time. You don't always have to. The "how are you?" at the door was never a bad question. It just needed someone behind it. Someone who's hung their coat up, really hung it up, and is genuinely curious what the answer might be. I'll still be here when you get back.